So I've kind of been dividing up my videos on this Ashes of Creation January tank update live stream into separate videos. First, I talked about the little controversy with the way they presented the tank, and then I talked about the actual skills and got pretty in depth with them like I usually do with each class. Now I want to talk about a few things that maybe you may have missed because of all the other things that have been going on. First of all, the UI got a huge update. It looks way better. The quest journal, the backpack, all the other UI elements to me are vastly improved. So that is good to see. I feel like the animations improved as well, a decent amount on the skills. And again, some more UI updates. The quest tracker looks way better as well. And also we saw with looting, you can actually now vote to change the loot allocation method. So that is kind of nice. And the loot, this was supposed to be loot, but anyways, the loot looks a lot better. This was the map on the first live stream. And if you paid very close attention, you saw him hover briefly over this, and it was the Tower of Carfin dungeon. And a lot of other interesting things about this map. From the Alpha 1, I know that these are nodes. These big, tall, wall-looking things are nodes. The eyes are basically point of interest. And, of course, rivers are rivers. And this is where he was located. And we know that he was going to the Oaken, whatever it was called, Oakenvale Keep. Was it called Oaken? Yeah. Something like that. I don't have it in front of me. I think it was called Oakenvale Keep or something like that. They were right here. They crossed a river at some point. And they went to here is what I believe. I believe this is where Oakenvale Keep is. Could be wrong. And then also, this was very brief, and I had to use, it was very hard to catch, but the starter village, he briefly hovered over this, and it's not this node. At first I thought it was this node, but he's actually, his cursor is right here. And if you go back and look at this one, and you look very closely, you can kind of see a divine gateway. So to me, this is the starting area in the Riverlands that they have talked about many times. And they have said that the starting area is not too far from the Tower of Carfin dungeon, so I think that kind of aligns. So in this, they were not too far from the starting area and not too far from the Tower of Carfin when they were in the live stream today. Or actually, it was yesterday at this point. So I was kind of playing around with the map, nerding out like I tend to do, and turned the opacity down on that map and sized it appropriately. And this kind of where I think it fits, and it doesn't fit perfectly by any means. The water, especially some of the water, doesn't quite fit, but the two rivers are right here. And then there's another river over here, not in the exact same place, and then there are rivers over here as well. So I think this is the location. Of course, they've probably made some modifications to the map since the last time we have seen them play the game, or the last time they showed the map. So I think using this, you can now come up with some ideas as to, for instance, like node distances. If you look right here, those are nodes, as I said. This one's a little hard to see right now, but that's your basic node distance. If you zoom out now, this kind of gives you perspective on how far apart nodes are. Now, granted, each node is going to be a slightly different distance to another node. They're not all going to be this distance, but this is roughly the node distance. And turning all this other stuff on now, so there's your node distance. The Carfin dungeon, I believe, is roughly right there. Lines up with that red spot on the map. And the starting area is roughly right there. So just a little speculation here based on this and doing some approximations with the overlay of the map. Kind of gives you some idea of perspective on how distant everything might end up being. And again, I just redid this on this map. If you want to see it more clearly. I'm going to play this. This was something I think maybe some people may have missed towards the end. I'm just going to play it real quick.
And then I got a little teaser for you.
Ooh.
Teasing something that's coming up. But this is called, well, it's like our shield, our Carfin Shield. That's not the full name of it, but that might tease a little bit of what might be coming.
Carfin.
Carfin. And Danny worked on this one.
Looks great.
Looks very good. And then we've got...
So, teasing that we're going to see the Tower of Carfin pretty soon. I get the feeling that we might see Tower of Carfin next stream, now that we have a full group of classes. And then maybe after that, we'll see the World Boss. Or it could be in either order. It could be February World Boss, because they said in December we're going to see a World Boss pretty soon. So, next stream is either the World Boss or Tower of Carfin. I have a feeling it might be Tower of Carfin. And then World Boss. I don't know why. It's just a feeling. Finally, I want to kind of end with this. It's always interesting, and this is not a high sample size by any means. I'm a small channel, right? And people that watch a certain type of channel like mine are going to have a personality that kind of maybe mirrors the creator to some extent. I think the algo kind of fits people with similar personalities. That's how you have so many echo chambers on the internet. And I could talk forever about the echo chambers that form on the internet, but we don't want to go there. But I find it interesting. There's a lot of people saying everybody's outraged, but my community is not. So take that for what you will. But, typically what happens is the angry people are going to be the most vocal, and the people that are content are typically not going to say a whole lot. So, again, this isn't necessarily representative of the entire Ashes community. It's not, a really scientific poll with enough sample size. And like I said, it's an audience that might mirror my views to some extent. However, I would put myself in this category, except I would now put it here after they redid it, but you can't really go back on the first showcase necessarily. I mean, yes, I know they kind of erased that and took the VOD down and things like that, and they're going to redo the VOD for the live stream and all that, and they already redid the showcase part. But the damage, I think, is already done to some extent. So I would kind of put myself in this category, but I'd consider putting myself in this category after they've kind of repaired their image. They did a lot of work, after hours late on a Friday, and you got to commend them for that, for doing that. And that's basically all I had. Just a few little things to wrap up my coverage of this month's live stream. That's 3 videos in one day. I do have the live stream tonight. I think I'm going to still do it, even though I am a little tired. But I got to stick to a schedule if I'm going to stream. The most important thing is you got to stick to a schedule. So it might be a short stream. I'm going to play some more Dragonflight PvP, and I'll see you guys there. Subscribe if you haven't, and check out my referral link for Ashes if you still want to sign up for an Ashes of Creation account. With that, I'll see you guys in the next video.